just the Arabs, it's not just brown people, it is immigrant communities in general. And it's a reality that one in life experiences, and it sucks. There's no doubting it. Everything that my opponent had mentioned, it sucks, and rightfully so. We do go through a myriad of experiences along the way. Depression, sadness, pain, anguish, mood swings, loneliness, anger, disconnect, despair. It may seem that the world does not even understand what we're going through, nor may it seem that there is no one around that can help. But that's not the case. Hence, this conversation is being had. In the modern era, things have become so compartmentalized. Things have become so specific to go and study, to go and to learn, to go and to look into, that even the human body itself. We've learned society with the advent of Freud and dominant atheist philosophy and modernity and postmodernity and secularism and every this, that, and the third that you can think of has literally stripped the soul out of our bodies. That then when it comes to the last 100, 150 years for our community, the Muslim community, we've gotten religiosity confused and intertwined with one's mental state. And inshallah, it's through this conversation that we'll have where I can sway everybody to my side. Best of luck, boy.
Okay, so the first question. The last one, the first one. So, is the loss of a loved one like test from Allah? And if it is, why would Allah try to test us like that?
Life is a test. From the time you come out of your womb screaming until the time where it's for us to have your body on this stage and somebody's going to do janazah. The whole thing is a test, which does include the loss of a loved one as well. And Allah says He's not going to test somebody with something that they cannot handle. The one who put us here in the first place, the one who sculpted us, this that we have, this body and these emotions, this heart, everything, all the good and the bad that comes with this journey, it's not meant to be too hard for us. So why does Allah test us with the loss of a loved one? Because somebody else will be tested with our loss when it happens to us. It's just the circle of life, if anybody has seen The Lion King. There's life and there's death. If that wasn't the case, this would be paradise. Then all this hardship and the headache and the backbiting and the gossiping and the bickering and this, that, and the third really wouldn't be happening. There would be it wouldn't make sense. There needs to be loss in this point of our existence in life. So that way, when we do make our way back to Allah, when we go see and we live in that life of eternity, inshallah ta'ala, without any hisab, that can make sense. That even through those losses that come, we're able to learn and to grow and to really remember and better ourselves. I've given a talk when my grandmother has passed away. I've heard Shaykh Tanani, Imam Abdul Hamid, and other shuyukh and A'immah that have come here. That is through this remembrance of that loss of life that we do realize the reality, and we hope to recognize the reality of all of this. And may Allah bless us with the opening that we need.
So what if you lose a loved one and it draws you away from Islam?
Then it's the fault of the community. It's the fault of the people that surround Fulan or Fulana. It's a disservice, it's an injustice done by everybody else in that person's life, everybody else in that person's circle, that they let that person happen to it.
Why doesn't Allah just not test us with depression and loss of a loved one? Why doesn't He just make it more easier than us, to us, like a different test here? No, like a different test.
So basically you want to skip all the hard stuff and just say, Ya Allah, let's do the whole carpets and the thing with the fruits and the... So there's two ways to look about this this hypothetical scenario. One, through the worldview, through the eyes of the person that's suffering through that problem. And yeah, I guess through that sense, you know, and that idea, you can make these questions and it becomes very tough to answer. I'll be honest. But it's the second point of view that as this person who's going through this personal trauma, who's going through this hardship, who's going through this test, it's on the people that are around them to also make sure that they're okay. It's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He says that, you know, if the body is meant to be like if we're meant to be an ummah, he describes it as when one part hurts, the rest of it hurts as well. Are we really taking care of each other to making sure that, yes, when that person who did lose a loved one or is going through depression or is going through whatever that they're going through, that the first thing that comes out of our mouths is not, hey, did you pray to yet? You're missing the point. What can we do if it's a smile, if it's a handshake, if it's a hug, halal, if it's just a moment of consolation that we can have with people to really go back to what it is to be human? To say that, yeah, my cousin, my friend, my neighbor, my classmate, whatever the case may be, am I really looking out for that guy? But yeah, if you want to go back, I don't want to dodge your question entirely because it's a very important question. Why doesn't Allah make a test really, really hard for one person and not for another? Well, Allah wouldn't make anything harder for that person that they couldn't handle. That's for starters. Secondly, though, there's a wisdom that comes off behind it. Is that if the people that are around that person can recognize that, yes, I'm in need, you're in need, that person, Fulan, you over there are in need, then yeah, it's now then a means and it's a way for a community to come closer just a little bit more, to really grow and flourish and to establish an identity here in these United States. That no, we're not going to forget our people, that we're not going to be like other immigrant communities that are out there in the country that just don't have the support system. Are you sure?
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna do question number 4 or number 3. So people sometimes have to hide their mental illnesses because not everybody wants to listen to you saying, I have depression, I'm sad, somebody died, because other people have different problems too. So why is Islam showing us a way to deal with this depression instead of letting the people disregard you, shun you, and not even ignore you?
Do you know when the first mental hospital was built in the history of the world?
Where?
When, not where, when.
Oh, when.
Does anybody know?
No.
The first mental health insane asylum that was created in the history of the world. Anybody want to take a guess? Yes, ma'am. It's a little bit before that by a few centuries. Close. It was in Baghdad, Iraq, present-day Iraq, in the 8th century. So to say that, Islam doesn't do anything for the mentally sick, that's one century after, less than a century after the Prophet ﷺ. So to come with that, you're misinformed, young man. What are the contributions that have, here's another question, And this is one that I learned from Sheikh Tanani. Maybe he's brought it again over the years.
I got a rebuttal.
Okay. One of the greatest scholars in the history of Islam, Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, writes in his Ihya Ulumuddin, the magnum opus, the book that if we don't have any other book in Islamic history, will suffice what we need for Muslims in the modern day. Throughout those 40 volumes, different ways, the psychology, the psyche, the emotions that a person would go through. This is 11th century, he dies 1111. And then the young lady, as you said, in the golden era, as you see in Andalusia and Islamic Spain, they used for insane asylums and people that went through mental health, they used stringed instruments, they used different types of therapy. In Morocco, they did the same. In Syria and Sham, they did the same. Turkey has some of the greatest ones in Islamic history that are still functional today. So to say that no, Islam doesn't do anything, you had scholars that would build these things to reference our own tradition. And I'm going to say the S word here, Sufism, to really answer this.
So, if you read the Quran, does it say anything?
Brothers in the side, guys, if you guys are not gonna listen, I would suggest you guys would leave, honestly, because you guys are distracting the other people who are listening. It's not a joke. Here you go.
So, yeah. So if you read the Quran or the Sunnah, are you gonna find anything about how to deal with mental illness?
You can find initial steps to go about to deal with mental illness. Even the Prophet ﷺ, when things that were beyond his capacity, when it came to things like mental illness as we know it today, or business economics, he would say, yeah, go ask the people who really know this stuff. Go ask the people who understand the psyche. Go ask the people who understand psychology. Go ask the people who understand the humors of the human body. That they were there, the Prophet ﷺ, even he himself would say, Ya fulan, in different hadith, go see so-and-so, they have the answer better than I do. And that Sahabi would go out and do it.
But did the Quran give us a way to deal with it?
The Quran does speak about the different psyches and the different states of being, the nafs al-ammara, the nafs al-mutma'inna, and the nafs al-lawama. Those are the selves that really can lean to something good where they're at peace and you have an ideal state. And then there are the self, the nafs, that body, that little brat inside of us that is troubled, that is going through some type of dysfunction. And when Allah speaks directly, He'll say, Ya ayyuhat an-nafs al-mutma'inna. Oh, that, good nafs, that bad nafs. So yes, the Quran speaks even past the human body, down to that little nafs, that thing that you're speaking about.
Okay. So, in the Quran it says, like, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin, right? But a lot of people have patience. They try to pray. They try to get closer to Islam, but they stay in depression. They still have these problems. Why is that?
Maybe they're not seeking help. Are they coming to a chaplain? Are they coming to somebody of psychology, somebody who's trained?
But doesn't it say in the Quran, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin? Doesn't it say that Allah is going to help you?
But at the same time, it also doesn't. Pick up any tafsir you want. Don't ask whoever scholar that you want. If you don't want to take mine, Sheikh Yusuf's right here. He's few years more learned than I am. That does not mean that you go and you sit idle. That there's a sense that yes, you ask Allah and you ask Allah first. Then you go seek help from the sabab. Then you go seek help from people. Go ask mama, go ask baba, go ask a chaplain, go ask a therapist, go ask a psychologist, whatever the case that you need. And then it's through that process, then you can say you are one of those that are of the sabirin, because you're taking the steps to do what you need to do. And it could be hard. I'm not just going to say it's easier said than done. Somebody going through that type of thing to say, yeah, inna Allah ma'as sabirin, it's just to make that first step for some people is so difficult, and I understand that. But find me afterwards if you personally are going through this, or if you know somebody who's going through it, and even from a distance. With technology, we can keep in touch a lot more easier than before. So I'm here.
Patience. Yes.
But patience through what? Or is it just universal patience through the good patience and the bad? Think what you're going to say before you say it.
Yeah, but how Allah says in Allah ma'as sabirin, if you have tawakkul, you have sabr, and you Allah will lead you to get better.
But here, Allah will lead you to get better. If you don't take that step, then whose fault is it?
But what if you don't have the resources?
What's up?
What if you don't have the resources?
We got the internet, dog. Everybody got resources.
Not everybody. The people in Africa have.
Facebook just set up internet for them over there.
I have a question. So, with tawakkul, what if he has a last question? So, with tawakkul, they say
Yeah, so like tawakkul and sabr are two different abstract ideas, or two different ways, two different books are written about it. They teach them separately. Yes, there's overlap. There's a relationship between the two. But for sabr, yes, sabr is one thing. But then to have tawakkul, as you know, this is the question that was asked. Tawakkul is trust in Allah, but then even that itself is wildly broad. It's trust in Allah in regards to what? That's the question to ask. Is it in regards to the situation that I'm going through? Okay, fine. You know, there's like the story of the guy who's drowning. The boat comes, no, I'm going to wait for Allah. The airplane comes, no, I'm going to wait for Allah. The guy who knows how to swim comes, no, I'm going to wait for Allah. He drowns and dies. Ya Allah, like I was waiting for you. He's like, why I sent you free? Like, what's up? So here in this masjid, like, you know, as somebody who's been a child of these walls, of this, well, the rut has changed a lot over the years, but as a person who's been part of this place, I've seen more and more people, alhamdulillah, growing into some type of mental health counseling. North Jersey has one of the best and most diverse areas of people who are not only Muslim, but Arab as well, that can understand the nuances of what it means to be from wherever we're from. And it's just a way to take advantage of those things. They have, if you follow Imam Suhaib Webb, if you follow Muslims of the World on Instagram, they share mental health resources. If you do Muslim mental health on Google, you'll find a couple pages worth of places to go to. You have the Khalil Center, based out of Chicago, have an office in NYC. You have your local chaplain at the university. You have the the mental health of Passaic County on Clifton Ave, a block and a half away from Ant Bookstore, and so on and so forth. So yes, if you're gonna blame God for your state and then say, oh, there's no resources when you never looked in the first place, God's not stupid, bro.
So there's an agreement with Islam that it's not necessarily just believing in God's solution, it's going through your part, going to seek help.
Oh, طبعا. Or one of the Bedouins who was Muslim, he comes to Medina one day and he, you know, jumps off the camel and just lets it roam. And the Prophet ﷺ sees this. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I trust in Allah that, you know, my camel will be fine. He goes, your camel may be fine, but it might not be here when you get back. So he says, tie your camel and then trust in Allah. So take the means that you can do, secure the bag, whatever term that you want to say. What can you do that you've already taken the first step, and then you hope that Allah gives you a favorable outcome? So yes, there is a sense of that. And what comes from this, and I want to tack in one more thing, if I still have time, Islam is not a religion. Islam is a deen. If you look up religion on Google, you'll see the general definition. It's a list of beliefs, i.e. Aqeeda. We got a way of life. We have the Sunnah. We have Hajj, Umrah, and all the Tasawwuf. We have all these different things that we can do as a Muslim to really go beyond a list of beliefs. Sure, that's important. Islam is more than that.
Oh, let me continue. Okay. So, no, I want to rebuttal. So what if somebody can't afford it, or somebody has talked to so many people?
Is this a rebuttal or is this a hypothetical?
I'm not done. What if people have talked to people and they've shunned them away so much, like they don't trust that if they go talk to another person, they're not going to make fun of them, or they're not just going to push them away?
Are those people like professionals, mental health people, or is it just, you know, homeboy, homegirl?
Professionals.
Professionals wouldn't do that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in business. It's not in their favor to do that.
Because in this country, a lot of people don't like Muslims. What if they try to, like, instead of helping them?
Well, like I said in my previous response, there are Muslim mental health clinicians, both to be able to speak, like somebody very near and dear to me. She has her moments that one day out of the week where she's online via Skype with somebody who knows her culture and is able to take advantage of that, and she can meet her mental health needs.
The question was that personal trauma in Islam, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this to happen? You know what I mean? Like, how could Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this to happen? You know, talking about your friends helping you. So the question is what if I don't have the necessary means to make it to happen because Allah's not giving me the means to make it happen? Is that what you're trying to say?
That is a very good question. And I think there's two ways I can answer this question, and I'll take the nicer route. How many people have cell phones or some type of internet access? Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing. One of the things that we can do, things that you can search on Google, and this is something that I've done for a previous conversation, was Muslim mental health professional. And then you'll come up with a massive list of things. Some will reroute you to what you would call Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield as an insurance company, Amerigroup, various different insurance companies. Others will go directly to a website and allow you to contact doctor whoever, psychologist whoever, therapist whoever. So it's a way to really go and to take advantage to hopefully find somebody local to be here and to help you out. If, for whatever reason, you live in the middle of nowhere, New Jersey, that it's hard for you to make your way or to get from point A to point B, the Khalil Center is one resource that can be held, that can be used, that is based in Chicago, but amongst the variety of services that they provide, online mental health resources. Why Islam has a mental health page. Nasiha, 1-800 or 1-900-Nasiha. You can do it over the phone. They have many different ways of just, okay, if I'm stuck or I'm underage, I don't have a car, or I can't afford to travel from a great distance, there's other ways of doing it. So if you are going through it yourself, or you have somebody else, and you live in a world where it's like, you're not a good Muslim because you're going through some stuff, Muslim mental health professional. That's a good start for the Google search.
So, as you said before, you're saying this is a test from Allah, right? So why would Allah choose to test the people already following Islam with this kind of stuff, and not just the people not following Islam?
Well, Allah says if you believe, He's going to test you. He's from day one.
Where does He say?
It's in the Quran.
What ayah?
I don't know the ayah exactly.
Give me the ayah. I don't know.
You have a phone, use it.
But how do you know it's true that he wants to test the Muslims?
It says it verbatim. If you believe, if you say that you believe, He says it in various ways. If you say you believe, you will be tested. And
Why does He want to test us, the Muslims? Why?
Do you want this to
we're
be
already Muslims. Why does He want to test us?
Well, do you want this to be paradise?
But if we're already Muslim, we have already become Muslims, right?
Yeah.
Why test us? We're already Muslims. Just let us go through life normally. And then
So khalas, like we made it. We've hit up a wasalna.
Yes.
You know what Imam Junaid said to those people that think they've made it?
What?
Wasalna ila jahannam.
What?
Wasalu ila jahannam. They've arrived in hellfire.
But if you're worshiping Allah, you're praying, you're bitsum Ramadan. Why are you still getting tested?
I know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about. And I get what you're trying to say now. So, when was it? Late 1800s, early 1900s, you have this idea within the West called the prosperity gospel. And the prosperity gospel is an idea that, yes, if you do what you're supposed to do as a worshiper, as a believer of God, then God is going to bless you and nothing bad is going to happen to you. And one of the things that people saw this in the world, it's like, oh, these people are worshiping God. Europe and the West is doing what they're doing. And Allah opened up for them. Other people have lost their way and became zigzagged in how they have in their relationship with Allah. And we see how it is. So the term was then coined the prosperity gospel. And it comes from a funny understanding within Christianity that has then seeped into the Muslim mindset as well. So this line of thinking was not really something that people had thought about until recently, until Arabs in particular, being this a dominant Arab majority, pushed for decades in the United States to be considered white, not Arab, not Middle Eastern, not brown, white. So in the midst of all that, we've also taken in this attempt to become white the prosperity gospel. And to say that, yes, because I'm this Muslim and I'm in the front row every single day, Fajr through Aisha, and I'm here for Tahajjud and I'm here for Ramadan, that no, God's not going to test me. Why would he? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know who also taught like that? Iblis. Do you know who else spoke like that? Iblis did. Oh, Ya Allah, I did all this worshiping for so many years and I made my way to the highest of levels as creation could have. What ended up happening? He told him to make sajda. Iblis said, no, why should I? I don't deserve this. And the story of humanity began.
Not everything that they wanted. Like,
Prosperity gospel.
Where if you just do the worship, you're going to be blessed. You know what I mean? So basically, the end point is if you're just worshiping and you're doing the right thing, you're going to get what you want. You're going to get something that, is going to keep you happy. So if that was really the main, and the happiness, I'm not talking about content, I'm talking about the happiness of relentless. So if that was the main thing, I'm just trying to say, if that's the main thing, then would everybody believe that? And it would be really a test anymore.
but there are still some arrogant people.
Nah, bro, let's just read. I was going to throw in a slick comment. Yeah, come on.
You answered that question.
Like, there are still arrogant people that aren't gonna believe.
Okay.
You know how the prosperity gospel, you get what you want, you usually get blessed if you worship or you do the right belief. So he's talking about what about the ones who are arrogant? What if they just are arrogant?
So what about the ones who are arrogant? Then they'll never get what they want as much as they worship. Allah is just. He's not going to give somebody who's just committing one of the worst sins what they want. He'll send them on their merry way to go live and get lost in the dunya, and things may seem to be very peachy keen, but at the grand scheme of things.
Like, the people that know that Islam is correct, but they don't believe.
That's a kafir.
Oh, the people that know that Islam is correct, but they still don't believe.
Oh,
So how does that tie down to?
yeah, how does that tie down to the conversation?
I know, for right now,
If you do the right worship,
because he said if you worshipped, you get what you want. He said then everybody would believe, but not everybody would believe, because some people, there's still some arrogant people that won't believe.
Habibi here said that, not me.
he didn't say that. I'm
Yeah,
talking
I didn't
about
say that.
the prosperity gospel, right? So the prosperity gospel is if you believe in a specific worship, you will be blessed in the life, right? So the question was is that when you do get this, anyways, let's go to the next one.
Bro, take my advice. Think about what you're going to say before you say it. In all seriousness, I'm going to embarrass you because they asked me to, but it's a good technique because you're still young. All seriousness, I'm trying to help you out. That it's a thing to do. Think about it, and then say, okay, this is what I really want to say. And then say that. All right? It's not just in this, it's in class, with your friends, wherever else in life.
Okay, so I'm just gonna move on to the next question.
No,
Okay.
don't laugh.
So, should a woman still wear a hijab, even though some women, and girls in high school and anywhere, they get bullied for wearing a hijab and they fall into depression and other mental illnesses and stuff?
So should they follow the religion?
Yeah, should at least that particular the mandate, what's now known as a questionable mandate. So for those sisters especially that do don the hijab, but are in an environment that has some, where there are outside pressures, societal, economic, social, whatever the case may be, do you still have to wear it? That's a tough question because it's a case-by-case basis. there are fatwa that are out there, especially those that came after in response to 9/11, as a reaction to 9/11, where they just said, yeah, if you fit within these standards, if you are suffering the same as this hypothetical sister, as was written about in the fatwa, then by all means, at least out and about, it's okay for you not to wear the hijab. My advice as somebody who's been exposed to this stuff, both in a fiqhi legal sense and as well as a mental health sense, is to, if it's you yourself that is going through something like that, or know somebody, two people to seek. One, somebody who knows this stuff, who can really speak within an Islamic context to the legal aspect of it, and two, at the same time, a mental health professional. Somebody who you can also at the same time work out any emotional trauma or emotional agitation that you may be going through, or somebody may be going through. And it is through the three of these people, the sister, the therapist, psychologist, whatever the case may be, and whether it's Sheikh Qatanani or whoever it is, to really then to say, okay, based on your situation, here's something that's completely tailored for you. And wherever that'll end up taking you is, inshallah, going to be the best. So, ideally, no, but the world is not ideal. If it calls for you to have to take off your hijab, there are opinions that are out there that says, hey, you got to do it for your own safety and well-being, by all means. But consult people. Don't take it upon yourself.
I'm going to go to another question. So, why does Allah allow problems to start between relationships? Like if a woman and a man are married and then problems start, they get divorced. Women, if they get divorced, it looks bad for them, always in Arab culture. So why does Allah not protect their relationship and He allows the problems to start? And women also can, and men can fall into depression and other mental illnesses after getting divorced.
So, it is a reality that has happened now in the global south, the third world, the Muslim world, whatever term that you want to add on to it, tack on to that. And why does Allah let it happen? Well, so people can get in trouble at the end of the day. Now, how then do we not let that happen? It's the better question. I made sure my wife, who's sitting there in the second row with the pink and the gray and the nice hijab, take advantage of every single thing that she could to the best of my knowledge, because I love her so much, that if in the unfortunate circumstance that 10 years down the line, Allah does throw a curveball in our relationship, and we do have it written for us to, unfortunately, sadly, to divorce. Tear. There are safeguards, there are bounds, like sisters, for example, if you want, you make sure that whoever you end up marrying, to get you a housemaid, regardless if he could afford it or not, because it's in your right to ask for that. Sisters, if you want, you can ask for in the marriage contract, in light of you taking a second wife, in light of you hitting me, in light of this happening, I can then take my full means for a divorce. That is also legally accepted. That if you can, in this, you take advantage of the community and the support that's around here, to say, Sheikh Tanani, I might not have gone through marriage law 101, but we need to make sure that there are things in this community, things in this masjid, that can work with other outside resources to take advantage and to support women, especially those who are hijabis, because they don't just have the pressures of the greater Arab community, but also the outside beyond these walls. That's taking advantage of the steps, that's going through the means, taking the precaution to say that yes, in light of so-and-so, in light of the unfortunate events happening, that I can be fine. That you all in general hold account the people that are up here on the microphone, which includes me. Hold account those that spend 3-4 hours in the office chatting with some tea, or if they do or they don't, or those that are cleaning, those that are doing stuff, those that come here at Fajr and leave at Isha. Hold them all into account. Find out who the board members are in this masjid, The list is on the website. Find out who they are, hold them into account, so that way the hypothetical fulan, what's your name again? Ahmed, or another Ahmed that comes out there in the world that's bringing up these same concerns, can then have them answered. That yeah, we may go through some type of hardship, but deep down inside, our iman, that sense of Islam that we have, can inshallah be firm as best as we can. No, I'm done.
So, in the Arab community, if a woman gets divorced, it looks bad for them, and a lot of people shun them, they don't talk to them. That can lead to them leaving Islam because of what they experienced with Islam, Muslims, Arabs. So why does Allah allow that to happen?
To say why does Allah allow that to happen? Because it's what's written, there's a wisdom in that. But if you'd like, I can turn this into theological and we can just stray from the actual question. Because you asked, why does Allah allow said action to happen? So there's an action that's being allowed to happen. Why does Allah allow bad things to happen? That was a conversation that was had here on these stages a few weeks ago. I'm not going to go into.
But not just any bad thing, like depression, and then which leads to moving from Islam.
Switch catastrophic event, Syria, Palestine, Kashmir, whatever the case may be, and insert somebody's personal life. It's still a bad thing nonetheless.
Assalamu alaikum. So you mentioned that Allah does not burden someone beyond what they can bear. So I had a friend who recently committed suicide. So was he able to bear the burdens of life? And then based off what you said, if the fault falls on the immediate family or support system, then why is the punishment for suicide so severe in the afterlife? And why does the individual then get punished for the failure of others to help him, especially if they felt helplessness or if the other people weren't qualified to help them?
Aggressive question.
How long do I have? I don't know, you tell me. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah have mercy on your friend and those people that fall into those same circumstances. Khalid Latif, the NYU chaplain, he shared a thing one time on his Facebook of a sister who was at a corporate rooftop New York City party. She jumps over the thing and she commits suicide. And I read the article, and mashallah, she had a good family, she's supportive, big community, everybody was, it was a seemingly healthy family. But Khalid Latif writes in the thing, on like the Facebook status, he goes, if you say she's going to hell because of this, you missed the point. So the ruling on those that committing suicide give themselves a one-way ticket to hell. What does that mean? What are the circumstances also at the same time that pushed your friend and pushed other people like him or her? May Allah have help them and help us all. They're really, to push one person to go through that, to take that type of act, to take that type of decision. I don't know, it's hard to say. It would take, that's too, one response cannot be given to one hypothetical in this regard. Just because in usuli sense, in the way that the Sharia works, in the way that we understand Aqeeda, and the sources that mention, yes, suicide equals a trip to hellfire, just between that relationship, it's hard to say. I don't know. Is it the fault at the thing of the community? I would say, yeah, the community has work to do. I don't like pointing faults. I know I said it before, but in a question as serious as this, I'm going to be a little bit more serious, that I would say, yeah, there's work that needs to be done, just in how a community were to go into function. Yeah, may Allah have it, make it easy for them and for the family as well. Come on, the sisters, you guys got the microphone. Take advantage of it. So in summary, in light of this entire conversation, with an array of questions and concerns that a lot have to do with misconceptions and just general miseducation about what it means to be Muslim and what it means to have some type of mental health issue, there are means out there in the world, on the internet, in this greater North Jersey community that are there for us to take advantage of. But it's that first step that is sometimes so very difficult to take that we need to go and move along with. And inshallah, through help and just checking in on people to really grow and to understand what it means to be Muhammadan. That if we're people that says La ilaha illallah, okay, fine, there's this abstract theological nature to it. But then at the same time, Muhammadun abduhu wa rasuluh. How then do we unpack what it means to be like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the abd, the one who worshipped, the slave, and the messenger of Allah? What can that do for us in 2019 going into 2020? How then can we not only better ourselves as a Muslim, like religiously speaking, but at the same time take care of this thing that's beating inside of our chest? Make sure that it's as healthy as we can make it. How do we take care of ourselves emotionally, spiritually? And it just takes, one simple step to go is to say, okay, dude, bro, sis, how are you doing? Talk to me. Don't be judgmental. And may Allah make it easy for us.
Okay. So I can agree now that even though some people fall into depression and things, you can't just have sabr and tawakkul, patience, and trust in Allah. Allah has given us resources on earth to use. Okay.
Oh, and so then can I add, just so that we don't get, to help clarify the brother, it's not necessarily going beyond sabr and tawakkul. It's that in the process of sabr and tawakkul, that includes speaking to somebody, that includes going out for help, that includes getting a hug from a friend, a brother or sister, that includes all these other things. So, as Ahmed so eloquently put throughout this last hour, these 55 minutes, there are a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot that we can learn just for ourselves as what it means to be Muslim, and just the history that comes along with it. Forget the fiqh, forget the usul, forget the aqeeda, forget the tafsir, the ulum, and all this other stuff. What is the history of our tradition? And let that be a start, inshallah, for people. Assalamu alaikum.
So first of all, Jazakallah khair, Brother Omar, for this beautiful insight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you and reward your family, your wife, for taking out of your time and for the long drive you had today. We apologize for that. So next week, unfortunately, is going to be our last debate, inshallah. We have Brother Zaid Abbasi, inshallah, is coming up, and he is going to debate about Islamic history, prophet, marriages, and whatnot. So this is yeah.
I'm straight out of the States, my God, mashallah. May Allah help whoever it is he has to.
Inshallah. One more thing. I want to say two things actually. The first thing, please keep my father in your dua. He's going to have a surgery, inshallah, within 2 weeks. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure him. And please keep him in your dua. The last thing, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, yes. So, as this debate is going to be the last one, we want you guys to understand that we started this course 2 months ago. I'll give you for those who signed up for this class. I know some of you guys just listening or attending the debates, you're not part of the class. But for those who are part of the class, I will grade you based on this, today, don't forget to text me to confirm your attendance. So I will grade you based on your attendance throughout these debates. The second thing, I'll grade you based on your participation, either you're participating in the debate or decorating the masjid. And the third thing, which is going to be the final test. The final test is not really a test, it's an essay that you have to write about one of the doubts that we spoke about. I need you to write with your own words about this doubt, questions about this doubt, answers about this doubt. It doesn't necessarily you having this doubt, but I just need to hear from you. And it's going to be, and send it to me in the email. I will inshallah correct it, and I will give you a grade for it. And then I will let you know, I'll send you an email with your grade. If you pass the whole course, Dr. Mazouz hopefully will show up next debate and will tell you all the details about the credit system, inshallah. With that being said, Jazakumullah khairan for coming. We'll try to have a celebration next debate. So if you have any ideas about how we celebrate the last debate of our course, please send me an email. Again, Jazakumullah khairan Umar, and Jazakallah khair Adam for the great job. Jazakallah khair Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Please help out with cleaning up the chairs so we start the salah, inshallah. MashaAllah, that's great. Beautiful. You're the guy who can smash. I know you were like starting off.
I'm sorry. ازيك يا مولانا؟ الحمد لله. Guys, brothers and sisters, if you can help to move the chairs away and also the stage so we can perform Isha inshallah together. Brothers, if you can come forward and help us to move this from here. Youth, especially the youth. Did anyone call adhan? Okay. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب وابعثه مقام. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. استووا يرحمكم الله استووا اعتدلوا تراصوا وسدوا الفرج أثابكم. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى وإن تجهر بالقول فإنه يعلم السر وأخفى. الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى. وهل أتاك حديث موسى إذ رأى نارا فقال لأهلهم كثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس أو أجد على النار هدى. فلما أتاها نودي يا موسى إني أنا ربك فاخلع عليك إنك بالوادي المقدس طوى وأنا اخترتك فاستمع لما يوحى إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدني وأقم الصلاة لذكري. إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فتردى. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى؟ قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها على غنمي ولي فيها مآرب أخرى. قال ألقها يا موسى، فألقاها فإذا هي حية تسعى. قال خذها ولا تخف سنعيدها سيرتها الأولى. واضمم يدك إلى جناحك تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء آية أخرى لنريك من آياتنا الكبرى. اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. قال قد أوتيت سؤلك يا موسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to have our youth and the parents to just remind everyone, inshallah, next Sunday, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, the 30th anniversary of our masjid. We would like to see everyone there, inshallah ta'ala. The tickets are outside, and you can also buy your tickets. You're going to see the link on our website as well, and Muwahid, I think, outside. And you can just scan the code bar, and you can also buy the tickets. So we would like to see everyone there, bi'idhnillah, this Sunday. It's going to be December 8th in Meadowland, Hilton, inshallah ta'ala. You will see all the information and the website. Barakallahu fikum ajma'in. And if you have the app also, you can get the information from there. May Allah accept your prayers and your dua. Barakallahu fikum ajma'in.
daughters.